Hi, Bill Doran with Diamond Guard Insurance in Texas. Hope y'all are doing well today. Well, it is springtime in Texas. It is springtime across the country, in fact, and we are about to enter into storm season. And this is the time of year that a lot of roofs get replaced. In Texas, the average roof lasts about 15 to 20 years. Even though the warranty says 30 years, the manufacturer's warranty, we don't get that much out of it because we get so much heat, the sun burning down on the roofs, we get wind, and we get a lot of hailstorms. So that shortens the life of our roof. In fact, in North Texas, I've had roofers tell me that if you get 8 years out of a roof, you're doing pretty good. We owned a house for 20 years before we downsized when my daughter went away to college, and we replaced our roof 4 times in 20 years. And it's not like I'm a serial roof replacer. Everybody in my neighborhood was replacing their roofs at the same time. I want to tell you about a client of ours, a homeowner, who hired a roofer and it turned into a lawsuit. So this is actually more common than you think because not every roofer out there carries the right insurance. And in this case, our client had seen the roofer at one of their neighbors' homes, had the sign, had the truck, had a sign on the side of his truck, had a good crew, and he thought, my neighbor's using them, it must be good. So they hired him. They were over at his house within about a week, got up on the roof and started working. Unfortunately, one of the workers who was on the roof fell off, and it was a bad fall. Broken leg, broken elbow, had to call the ambulance, took him to the hospital, was in the hospital for a day or two, and this is where it gets messy. Turns out the contractor did not have the right insurance. And when that happens, guess who is responsible? That's right, you, the homeowner. Here's the part that most people don't realize. There are 2 types of coverages that a contractor needs to carry. One is general liability, and one is workers' comp. In this case, the workers' comp would cover the injury when the worker fell off the roof. If they don't have that, and someone gets hurt on your property, you can be held responsible for that. And a lot of homeowners assume, and this one did too, he's a company. He's got a truck. He's working on my neighbors. He must have all the right insurance. And assumptions are what gets you into trouble. Okay? So before anyone gets on your roof, especially in Texas, where we have lots of lawsuits going on, ask for a certificate of insurance. Okay? Not just are you insured. In fact, I made that mistake when I replaced my first roof. I said, are you insured? They said, yes. I said, good. Let's get going. He probably was insured. I never asked the question further, but after that, I started talking to people and they said, make sure you see the certificate. And that's what I recommend you do. Conversation gets a little bit weird for a second, but trust me, roofers have been asked this question many times. And when I asked it on the second roof that I replaced, he brought out a binder, had the certificate right there, showed it to me, said workers' comp, all good. We went forward from there. So it might feel weird for 10 seconds, but the good ones will have it. If they can't produce that, don't work with them because the risk to you is too great. Even if he has a better price than somebody else, in the long run, this can cost you money. Hope that helps. Have a great day, and I hope you avoid big storms.